Hello, friends. Derek came to me again today to say, let's put Robin Wall Kimmerer back on the podcast. And so I thought I'd look through what I asterisked in her book and read you a few sections so you can hear her words. This is from Braiding Sweetgrass. She also has one called Gathering Moss, and I can't recommend them enough to you. It's time that the plant world was our brothers and sisters as much as the animal world. So let's see, and these aren't necessarily fully connected pieces, they're just ones I collected. I wrote with the intention to provide an antidote for what conservation biologists have termed, quote, plant blindness, end quote, the lack of public awareness of the significance of plants to ecosystem function and the attendant deficiency in policy, scientific knowledge, and conservation funding that follows. Plant blindness and its relative species loneliness impedes the recognition of the green world as a garden of gifts. And we're just going to skip here. Again, they may or may not be related. For all of us, becoming indigenous to a place means living as if your children's future mattered. To take care of the land as if our lives, both material and spiritual, depended on it. And this word indigenous reminds me that today is a national holiday of and for Indigenous people. In the Western tradition, there is a recognized hierarchy of beings, with, of course, the human being on top, the pinnacle of evolution, the darling of creation, and the plants at the bottom. But in native ways of knowing, human people are often referred to as, quote, the younger brothers of creation. And here we have feeding, yes, its fruit around the big table recalls the tree's welcome to our ancestors when they were lonesome and tired and so far from home. So, if you're out in the woods by yourself, you're not alone, you're with friends. They weave a web of reciprocity, of giving and taking. In this way, the trees all act as one because the fungi have connected them. Through unity, survival. All flourishing is mutual. Soil, fungus, tree, squirrel, boy, all are beneficiaries of reciprocity. She loves that word, reciprocity. You'll find it a lot here. If you took a biologically inclusive census of people in this town, the maples would outnumber humans 100 to 1. In our Anishinaabe way, we count trees as people, quote, the standing people, end quote. Even though the government only counts humans in our township, there's no denying that we live in the nation of maples. And another from the chapter on maples. We haven't even mentioned how they create habitat for songbirds and wildlife cover, golden leaves to shuffle through, tree forts and branches for swings. Centuries of their falling leaves have built this soil, now farmed for strawberries, apples, sweet corn, and hay. How much of the oxygen in our valley comes from our maples? How much carbon is taken from the atmosphere and stored away? These processes are what ecological scientists term ecosystem services, the structures and functions of the natural world that make life possible. We can assign an economic value to maple timber or gallons of syrup, but ecosystem services are far more precious. And I'm only going to offer one more little statement. For what good is knowing unless it is coupled with caring? Science can give us knowing, but caring comes from someplace else. All of nature is out there for you to commune with, to talk with, and some other nations, like Indian nations, had conversations with plants, with animals. And so your friends are out there. Go meet them. Feel their warmth. They're caring.